I'm joined here by Christian,
Derp.
and Joe.
Welcome.
And
This is very
we're creeping.
It's a very spooky. Intro
We're
we got
creeping
here.
right on into October soon, and so I figured I'd start us off with some creepy
The dulcet tones
intro.
of Vito's voice.
Yeah.
So we don't have any beer of the week because it's like 10 a.m. On a Sunday, but we do have. I'll say that the coffee of the week is Three Peckered Goat.
There you go. Again.
Yeah, again.
Yep.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Three-Pecked Goat.
All right, so we're gonna get this out of the way. We're just gonna jump right into this and get this out of the way. Andrew Luck retired last night.
What? I know, out of the blue.
And we're
Very
talking about-
unexpected.
We're talking about a quarterback who is in his prime right now.
He's not even 30. He's 29.
Yeah, he's 29 years old. He's in his prime. He was looking to have probably the best season of his career. And then on top of that, minutes before he retired, they were Super Bowl hopefuls. They were a Super Bowl team. And then the second he retired, they went to be out of the playoffs.
I know. I guess I'm not watching any Colts games this year either. Jeez.
Dude, you're a curse.
Jeez. I'm a curse?
The Joe curse. Look what happened. You left the Giants, and now Daniel Jones is fucking
It's the
balling out.
preseason. It doesn't mean anything, man.
They've
Preseason stats
still
don't
won
mean
more
shit.
games without you being a supporter
That's true.
than you being a supporter.
That's true.
But it's pretty funny. It's like you switch the boat and you go from Giants to
Colts.
Colts.
They're fun. They're smart. Oh, shit.
Andrew Luck retires, and then they lose their Super Bowl.
I don't think I'm ready
hopeful.
for the Jacoby Brissett era.
Oh, Lord. Jacoby
He's
Brissett.
fine as a backup,
They
but-
plugged him in because Andrew Luck has been injured before. The reason why Andrew Luck is retiring is just because his body is just worn down. He's mentally worn down. And if you saw his press conference, he talked about how he's in a constant cycle of getting injured, recovery, injured, recovery.
Can you do an impression? Do you do an Andrew Luck impression?
I don't think I could. The caveman.
Yeah.
I find myself unhappy with football.
That's too like Kennedy, man. That's too,
I don't know. I don't know how to do it.
It's more like Andre the Giant or Caveman. You know, like just my body. I in this constant cycle of injuries and rehab, and I just can't do it anymore. The love of the game just isn't there.
But I respect the guy's decision because, I mean, if you're mentally worn down from something that you love, it's obviously not good. Sit there and try to play through something that, you grew up loving and something that obviously if you love football, like if you're in the NFL, you love football your whole life. You know what I'm saying? And you did everything you could to get to the NFL. He got there. He did great. He's mentally worn down. He doesn't like the game anymore. Why should he still have to play and do something that he doesn't want to do?
It's kind of like
especially when his neck,
like, WoW players when Warlords of Draenor came out.
especially when your neck is all fucked up, your legs are all fucked up, your back is just.
I mean, he's 29 years old. He's a multimillionaire. He says he's going to retire and travel the world.
Yeah.
He went to Stanford, right? So he's like a smart, intellectual guy. And this is like the same. Like, I know people are freaking out about this, but like, it's good to have hobbies outside of your career.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Zach Greinke, who's an amazing pitcher. I think he's pitching. I think he just got traded to the Astros. But anyways, I remember when he was coming up, people were concerned about him because the passion wasn't there. Because when they would ask him questions like, do you live, breathe, and sleep baseball? He would say, no, I do other stuff too,
Well,
this is a job for me. Oh, no, you can't be like that. And he's like, why? I'm really good at pitching. And I'm still really good at it, even though I it's not my only passion in life.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. You got to think about guys like Todd Gurley, where they always ask him, like, oh, do you like watching football? Do you like watching college? Do you like watching NFL games? He says if the Rams aren't playing and he's not playing, he has nothing to do with football. And I don't blame him. He's got hobbies outside and outside of work, just like every other human being. And he's living his life. Frank Clark, another player who says if it's not, back when he was with the Seahawks, he said if he wasn't watching Seahawks game film or playing in the game, he had nothing to do with football. He didn't watch college. He didn't he didn't fucking live, breathe, and eat football. He just played it and he studied it.
Yeah.
And he's a great player. And, even Eddie Lacy, when he was good, people were,
For 6 months.
people were, asking him how he thinks about football. He doesn't have the passion for football. He still plays, but the reason why he got into football and to play football was because he wanted to get his mom out of the house that they were living in, because he grew up in poverty and had a bad growing up, but his mom really kept him grounded and kept him focused on one thing, and he was able to actually go the next level with that. So as soon as he bought his mom a house, he had finally completed a goal of his. So his love for football is really just a career. It was a career for him, and it was a big move, but he didn't fucking, and you could see it even in college, he didn't it wasn't football all the time, which it is with some people, and that's not a bad thing. But
it's not, loving your career is not a negative, but
yes,
also having,
absolutely. It's
you
not.
shouldn't see it as bad for people to have hobbies outside of their career, is what I'm getting at.
But some people go about their careers differently, and then, so for Andrew Luck, to see him retiring because he's not happy to play football, it just kind of makes you, it makes you kind of respect him a little bit more. And like you said, he's a smart guy. He went to Stanford, and so he's going to, we know we're going to see him in the booth. He will be in the booth eventually. He'll be on ESPN. He's going to be around football.
Oh, man, I can't imagine him as an announcer. His voice, he'd need...
He'll be.
You got to look up clips of him talking. He literally sounds like this, like
Under the
old
Giant, you were
caveman.
saying.
Yeah, without the French accent. Yeah, that's a
he'll
pretty
be in the
accurate
booth.
Andrew
I
the
guarantee
Giant,
you he'll
man.
be in there for college games or preseason games. He will be in the booth. Fucking Joel, what's his name? The fucking comedian.
Joel McHale?
Yes, he was in the booth last night for the Seahawks.
Really?
And it was pretty
Is he
funny.
from around here?
He's from Seattle.
Oh, I didn't know that. I know Chris Pratt's from here.
And so, he was in the booth last night, which was pretty interesting. He's a terrible announcer, but it was still fun. Because what he brought in was like a comedic aspect to the radio listening of the football game.
Most of the announcers
cool.
are terrible, man. But I feel like comedians do better at like baseball games because there's so much nothing's happening. Like they had Jerry Seinfeld do a few Mets games. That was pretty fun because he's notoriously a giant Mets fan.
But like
everyone takes sips of their coffee at the end.
yeah. Something would happen. I spilled coffee all over myself. God damn
Full
it.
DeVito.
Something would happen in the game, and Joel would be like, who was that, and was that good for us?
That's pretty fun.
And then they would throw a flag, or something would happen, like a pass interference would happen, and the refs wouldn't throw the flag. And Joel would be like, what? How is that not a flag? I'm like, this guy is literally me commentating football.
That's funny.
Like,
that's what you should do.
every play, I'd be like, why is that not a
football
fucking flag?
commentator?
He's too much of a homer, man. Every play ever is a penalty on the other team.
Who, me?
Somehow. And he'd go off on Super Bowl 42 or whichever one it was against the Seahawks Steelers when Roethlisberger was very clearly over the line, yet Seattle fans refused
Super Bowl
to accept
XL?
that. Was it 40?
Yeah.
I was so mad when they didn't call it Super Bowl L for Super Bowl 50. That's the only one that hasn't had a Roman numeral. That's so stupid. They called it XL. Like, you couldn't just call it L? Get out of here.
I think they called Super Bowl 50 just 50.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did. That's the one time they didn't use the Roman numeral. Stupid.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Stupid.
For the 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl.
Stupid. Yeah.
And then they had the gold 50-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
God, that season sucked. That season was so bad.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but I think for Colts fans to boo Andrew Luck while he's on the field, and then
they're going to regret that.
and then
They're
on
gonna
his way out of the field,
I think they were just so shocked. It was
They were
so
shocked,
shocking.
come
He
on,
was
man,
comeback player of the year, man.
To
He had
boo
a
the
great
guy that
season.
literally gave up his body to play for the city, just
I know.
Granted, the one thing that people do say, people who don't like sports, which there is a lot of them, say that these people don't really deserve to be glorified as much as they are, and they're not really heroes. They're just athletes. These guys are fucking players, and they're entertainers, and they're entertaining their whole fucking city and people around the country. So if you don't like sports, just continue doing what you're doing, but don't fucking hate people who love sports, you dumb goofs.
Yeah. Just be cool, man.
It's like
just be cool.
Fucking shitting on people who like Game of Thrones. It's
Just
like,
be cool.
Or shitting on people who like video games. It's like, fucking don't like what you need to... Yeah, anime. I don't like anime, but I'm not sitting there trashing on everybody who
Just
loves
be
it.
cool. Just let people enjoy what they enjoy, unless it's like racist
Unless
garbage.
it's something bad.
Like bad, like objectively bad. Not
Yes.
like you think they have bad taste. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
All right.
If you want to listen to a personified aneurysm, go ahead and listen to Hobo Johnson. I don't fucking give a shit. Just don't make me do it. Anyway.
So speaking of Roman numerals, the Super Bowl
shit.
has Roman numerals. So does Final Fantasy. This transitions nicely
There we
into
go.
my quiz of the week.
This one's just for you, Blake.
This was a fun one. So I decided to do, Vito, you have fantasy sports, like fantasy football and shit. And Christian, you have fantasy sports, like fake sports from fantasy things. Okay?
Yes.
So this is the theme. So who wants to go first? Who wants the first question?
Vito.
Vito, you want the first question? Okay. So Vito, in fantasy football, what do the initials PPR stand for?
I knew that was coming.
You have no idea?
No, I literally know zero anything about fantasy football.
So to peel back the curtain, Ara got 2 of these 10 questions right this morning, and they were both from the Christian side, so that's fine.
So can I answer for a point?
Yeah,
PPR is points per reception.
that is correct. And points per reception is a style of scoring, a very hotly contested one, where every time the receiver catches the ball, they get a point. Meaning if your running back catches 5 screen passes for negative 10 yards, they got 5 points for some reason. Well, 4, I guess, because
Well,
they lose
it's
a point.
0.5, so however.
Well, that's half.
You can alter
Yeah.
it to whatever the fuck you want.
That's half. Okay. Christian, this is a 2-parter.
Oh shit.
In Final Fantasy X. Now, I wanted to make these all Final Fantasy sports questions, but there aren't enough sports in Final Fantasy for that, so I had to expand outside of the Final Fantasy world. So in Final Fantasy X, the main character is a sports star. What is the name of the sport he plays? And for a bonus point, what's the name of the team he plays for?
So what's his sport?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna say. Oh fuck. I'm just gonna go with my gut feeling and just say it's like baseball.
Okay. And what's the team called? Vito, can you steal this
The
one?
Excelsiors.
The Excelsiors?
I can steal the first, but not the second.
Okay.
I don't know what the team was, but it's Blitzball.
The sport is called blitzball. Yes, it's underwater soccer played in a floating sphere of water. You don't know the team?
No.
The Xanarkand Abes, like ABES.
Yeah, see, there was about a 0.00% chance of me getting that. So wait a minute. If I were to say soccer, would I have gotten the point or no?
No, because it's blitzball.
Okay.
It's blitzball.
All right, I'm just making
Yeah.
sure. I got to be like,
Yeah.
I got to hit it right on the nose.
Let's go to Christian for this next one. This
Because
is probably the easiest question.
We've given Vito a couple football points because he was close.
Uh-huh.
So I just
If you
I
had
just
said
wanna
like
make sure.
underwater soccer, I'd probably give you a half point.
Well, underwater soccer doesn't fucking exist, so I would never say that.
It's fantastical
How the
sports,
fuck would
man.
how the fuck would I ever think of that? But I just said baseball because that was my gut feeling.
Baseball?
Because I'm
I
like,
mean,
you know,
the
I'm like
Japanese
the
love
Asians
baseball.
love baseball.
Yeah, that's a fair. I see your logic there. So in Quidditch, from Harry Potter, right? We're all familiar with Quidditch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are 3 balls used in Quidditch. What are they called? The 3 Quidditch balls.
The fucking gold ball.
Okay, that's not what's the name of it. I thought you'd get this one for sure. Okay, do you not know this one either, man?
I mean, I know it, but I just don't have it in my head. Like, I
The score ball.
The score ball.
The score ball.
Okay.
I know one of them for sure, but the other two I can't quite remember.
The one with wings.
Okay.
The wing ball.
The winged ball. The golden winged ball, yes.
And then the... Why is there 3 fucking balls in Quidditch?
I mean, there's 4. There's
Why
3
is there
kinds
4
of
fucking balls?
Because it's a fucking made-up fantasy sport, man.
I
Vito?
think J.K. Rowling needs to figure out sports before she writes
She made it
about
as like a joke. It was making fun of sports. That's why the rules are so stupid.
Well, guess what? She's stupid.
So there's definitely the golden snitch.
Yes, the golden snitch. That's one.
God. I can't.
Wait a
Oh my God,
minute.
my
Why did I
sister's
see
yelling
this? Why did I see
at
this?
this fucking
Why did I see
screen
this
right
shit
now.
on ESPN?
What? They
They
have
just posted a fucking post about
they
the
'cause
golden snitch.
There's real world Quidditch.
No,
like,
it was something that happened in like August. What day is it today? The
20 something. Yeah, today is the 25th.
So it said August 25th, 1994. Some fucking
Oh right, because
some guy grabbed the golden snitch or whatever, and I just saw this like right before we
it's
started.
the anniversary of Harry Potter or whatever, the 25-year anniversary of when it was
That's so
supposed to
weird
take
how
place.
how you had this question in there and they just posted about
That
that.
is random. That's not where it came from. It
Okay,
came
so
from my
anyway,
brain.
Vito,
So
continue.
you got the snitch. That's one.
Fuck. I can't remember the other 2.
the score ball.
So the snitch is the little golden
I
one that
remember
flies
it's
around.
like something like it was like something like fucking boulder or like thrush.
Oh my God, you're so close. The quaffle is the red scoring ball with the divots in it, and the little black balls that they whack with the bats are called bludgers.
Bludgers,
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
See, I knew, but I just couldn't pull the fucking memories.
All
out of
right.
my
All
head.
right. Let's go back to Vito. So when constructing a fantasy football
Points per
roster,
reception.
yeah, that was the last one. Christian, what's a chocobo? Just kidding. In constructing a fantasy football roster, you have many starting positions. What is the flex? What does that mean? What in the world is that?
Nope.
Nothing? Christian, describe a flex.
The flex can be a running back, a tight end, or a wide receiver. It's kind of like your extra. It's like your extra skill position. So you can't have a quarterback in there. You can't put a kicker in there. You can't put another defense in there. It has to be a running back, a tight end, or a wide receiver.
Yeah. So when you construct your roster, you have a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and you have this flex spot that's like flexible, which is why it's called flex.
Flex, yeah.
It's not because they're flexing all their skills.
No, no. You're gonna know so much when you finally become a fantasy football player next year, Vito. Mm-hmm. So let's go to another fantasy football one.
Okay.
When drafting in fantasy football, there's 2 main styles. What are they called?
He's got it.
No, I don't.
I think some of this you could have just absorbed from our conversation.
Yeah, if I was paying attention.
See?
Yeah,
I
no,
could,
he's like-
I could
he's like
win
napping
Final
over there.
Fantasies. I can win my Final Fantasy quizzes if I just pay attention during
That's
Final
true.
Fantasy.
That's true. Christian,
You have a snake draft and you have an auction draft.
that is correct.
Yeah, I was never gonna get that. I was trying to go
correct.
off of like fucking tournament draft and shit.
A
from
snake
video
draft.
games.
Do you have snake drafts? So a snake draft would be first player. If you pick first in the first round, you pick last in the second round. So it's like a snake, back and forth.
Okay.
And then auction draft is you put a player up for auction, and then everybody has like $200. So it's way better, 1,000 times better. But Christian's old school league refuses to adapt auction drafts for some reason.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm the commissioner.
let's go back to you, Christian.
All right.
Final Fantasy VIII. There's a card game. Sweeps the nation. What's it called?
I think I know this one, but only because of Final Fantasy 14. Because I actually never.
There's a
played
remake
eight.
coming out too, by the way.
There's a
Eight's a
remake?
weird one. It's a like a remaster. It's not like
Well,
a
yeah,
ground
yeah,
up
yeah.
remake, but yeah.
A card game
Uh-huh.
like poker?
Yeah, I never
the
played
poker
8,
is
and I
incorrect.
never finished 10
Is it
10?
because it wasn't on my system.
is it like battle
I was
cards?
playing it on a friend's
It
system.
is
Like fucking
You do
Yu-Gi-Oh?
battle the cards, yeah, but it has a very specific name. Vito, do you know what it is?
Triple triad.
Triple triad is correct.
I think I actually know that because Vito told me triple triad before when I was talking about poker.
Yeah. All right, so after 3 questions, Christian has 4 points to Vito's 3.
Wait, how does Vito have 3?
I just keep stealing
He
yours.
keeps stealing all your points. Yeah.
He only had 1 for the Harry Potter question.
Yeah, that was 1
And
out
then
of
he-
a possible 3.
and
he
then-
got 1 out of 2 for the other one, and he got triple triad. Right? You're
He didn't get the first one.
He got blitzball.
Yeah.
You got blitzball.
Oh,
not
I
the team
forgot
name.
about
Yeah.
Blitzball.
Don't worry, Vito's got the multi-parts.
I
coming
forgot
up
about
now.
the Blitzball.
Yeah.
Multi-part, and then you got both snake and auction flex. and
Wait, no,
PPR.
he didn't.
Huh?
He didn't get Blitzball. You had to say it.
No, he got
No,
it.
I got
he got
blitzball.
blitzball.
I
He didn't know the team. name.
I'm gonna challenge the play.
Dude, you can listen to the
I'm
playback.
gonna challenge the play and listen to the playback.
You're
anyway,
also up. So,
anyway, let's keep going.
Okay.
Let's keep going. I'm gonna win this fucking quiz.
You're
going
up
to
right
win.
now.
You're up. I think you will win it because
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna get the next 2
I'm
football.
going to
questions.
Yeah.
win.
In Final Fantasy VII, the main character participates in an Olympic sporting event. Which one? As part of the main story. Now, it's not like he goes to the Olympics, but he does
Javelin.
something that is an Olympic sporting event. It's not javelin, though.
Swimming.
Like, you get one guess.
Oh.
I mean, okay, yes, he does go swimming, but that's not what I'm referencing here.
All right. Vito, go ahead and take this damn point.
I don't fucking remember.
You don't remember?
No.
You don't remember when you have to escape from Sephiroth on a snowboard? And you do an entire downhill snowboarding section in the middle of a Final Fantasy game, complete with the trick system and everything?
Oh, so we went to the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I didn't say summer.
I like the Winter Olympics.
All right, nobody
It's
gets
just fun.
points for that one.
Yeah, nope.
Sweet.
That's fine. All right, Vito.
Yeah.
Who, and I don't know if Christian will know this either, who were the top 3 scoring players? Now, okay, which NFL players produced the most fantasy points in 2018? So I'm not saying like Bong Ripper 420 was the best fantasy player. No. Which
Like
NFL
actual
players
player.
play on the field converted to the most Final Fantasy or fantasy football, Final Fantasy football points in 2018? And I will give you a big hint.
Tom Brady.
Quarterbacks score the most points. Okay, Tom Brady. I'm looking for
fucking-
3. Can you name 3 NFL quarterbacks?
I'm trying to remember the Seattle one. I know Tom Brady because everybody hates him.
I've come over my hate of Tom Brady.
Yeah, you are a Tom Brady lover now. I mean, we were just talking about a quarterback for like 20 minutes who did really well last year.
I don't remember his name. I was not paying attention.
What's a gloop?
What's a
Yeah.
gloop?
A
Yeah.
gloop.
It's so interesting to me. I feel like osmosis would get both of you better at these things, but somehow not.
So are you telling Vito that the top 3 scorers are quarterbacks?
The top 3 scoring, yes. The
Yeah.
top scorers are always quarterbacks, yeah.
I know this question. I
Okay.
know this one.
All right, I think I'm going to have to time you out, buddy.
Oh, shit.
And Tom Brady wasn't incorrect, by the way.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
All right, Christian, how many you got?
Andrew Luck,
Incorrect.
Patrick Mahomes,
That's correct.
and let me see here. I'm gonna go with the Drew Brees.
Patrick Mahomes, Matt Ryan, Ben Roethlisberger.
God damn!
I know. But that's
I
one
named
point
3
for you.
quarterbacks better than all. Well, Mahomes, I named him, but I named 2 other quarterbacks that are better than Matt Ryan. And
this fantasy
but the
football's
problem
weird.
is Matt Ryan is a great fantasy quarterback.
And James Conner had a great season, but barely had any touchdowns because they were always throwing the ball.
Yeah.
They threw more than anybody.
Well,
Okay.
fucking AB, you know. So do I get 1 point for that?
You got 1 point, yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
So now you're 2 ahead.
Yeah, Christian's crushing you, man. It's finally Christian's win. But anyways, I have a last question. Last set of questions. Christian. On the television program Futurama, there's a famous episode where Leela becomes a pitcher for the New York Mets. What is the name of the sport that they are playing? And I'll give you a hint. It's not baseball.
God, I should know this because I actually loved fucking Futurama. The only thing I can really vividly remember from Futurama right now is Slurms McKenzie.
The Party Frenzy?
Yeah, I fucking love that guy. Anyway, Oh, she was. Fuck.
I know. I see you picturing the episode in your head. Like, oh, what the hell was the name of the stupid sport with like the ball and the rope?
Fuck.
Vito, chance
Was
to
it-
steal.
Rope ball.
It is not called rope ball. The answer is Blurn's ball.
God damn it. I should fucking know that. I loved Futurama. Damn it.
All right, finally, and Christian's already won, so this is just for marbles. But I want you to get one, although I don't think you're going to get this one. When prepping for a fantasy football draft, one of the most commonly quoted statistics is ADP. What does ADP stand for?
Actions.
I want to see where your acronym goes, man.
Don't look at me, Vito. I don't know this one.
I wasn't looking at you. I was looking out into the ether.
So when I used to work as a fisheries biologist, I worked for the National Marine Fisheries Service, or NIMFS, NMFS. And one of the fun things we would do is make up new words for those acronyms, or new acronyms for new words you had to fill that acronym. So nachos make fantastic snacks, or NIMFS was my favorite one.
All right, Joe. He doesn't know this one.
Action down points.
Action down points is incorrect. You don't know this one?
I can't remember this
Oh
one.
man, this is why I always crush you guys at fantasy football. Average draft position.
Oh, god damn.
It's where everybody else is drafting a player, so you can see.
Like players.
If everyone
like,
thinks-
I'm about to call a couple people out, like Rodrigo, who picks Ben Roethlisberger in the second round, or my dad, who picks fucking
it's like,
Tom Brady in
Aaron
round
Rodgers
one.
pick. 12,
Oh yeah, no, Aaron Rodgers, yeah,
okay.
in the first round. You know what's funny is Adam Schefter drafted Patrick Mahomes #1 overall in fantasy, and he got fucking annihilated
yeah.
on the internet because people were like, "Dude, you can pick up Mahomes in like the 5th or 6th round.
Yeah,
What are
that's-
you fucking doing?"
Like, it's not a secret that you always should wait on a quarterback because, like, yes, I did point out that quarterbacks are the highest scoring players in fantasy, definitely.
There's fucking 32 of them.
Distance, exactly, and you only need 12 for your league, right? So the distance between number 1 and number 15 is way smaller than the gap between like the top 10 running backs and the next 10. You know,
But it's like I already have a feeling our draft is next. Oh shit, I have a draft tonight. Forgot about that.
how many leagues are you in?
I'm in 2.
Christian won, by the way. He dominated.
Oh,
The
yeah.
score was
I'll take a picture with my trophy.
5-3. That's the biggest win ever. I really like that one when I came up with the idea of fantastical sports versus fantasy
That
sports.
was a fun one.
This week's podcast brought to you by the Beefy Boys. 3 cool dudes hanging out talking about music, video games, and sports, and anything else that hits our fancy.
Yeah, check them out at www.beefyboys.com or on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you love their logo, you can buy their merch, www.cafepress.com/beefyboysmerch1.
And oh, baby, you know you're going to find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Find us on Twitter at Beefy_boys. And you can find us on Instagram at official Beefy Boys because it is official. Make us blue check marked, keep following us. And you can find us on Facebook at the Beefy Boys. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Beefy. A good podcast requires a good beer. So that's why I always go to my go-to, Keystone Light. If I'm going to the store, I don't want to buy a 12-pack. I want to go for a legit 15-pack. When I go to a party, I don't take Rainier. I take Keystone Light. And you know what? It tastes so good, I'm going to have it right now. Cheers, folks. Yeah, there's a burp coming in. That's good. So here's a one last small little recap on some breaking news other than Andrew Luck retiring. Antonio Brown lost his second grievance against the NFL.
Yeah, what's he going to do? I thought for sure he
He's
was
gonna
going to
play.
win because that
He's
was a
gonna play.
serious loophole.
It really was.
Yeah.
Getting like a same model, just not. And you see, the NFL knows
So
that.
to explain this to Vito, the way this worked, the NFL released this list of banned helmets and gave everyone a 1-year grace period to get ready for this helmet banning situation. Also, there was a generic rule that if the helmet's more than no, but there's more details now.
This is a big case. Yeah,
there's this generic rule that if the helmet's more than 10 years old, it's banned, right?
Yeah.
So Antonio Brown's helmet model hasn't been produced in ages, and the NFL did not include it on this list of banned helmets because they didn't think anyone was still using a helmet that they stopped making 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? However, it didn't pass their training. And when they realized he was planning on using this helmet, they rushed it through their testing, and then they added it to the banned list. And he's like, well, this is fucked up because I didn't get my 1 year grace period. This helmet wasn't banned until 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so I thought he was going to win the case. I think a lot of people thought he was going to win the case.
He had a huge loophole.
Valid argument.
Yeah.
But he lost. And he's like threatening to retire over this.
And it's crazy because, people were calling him like retarded and shit. I mean, this, first off, he's not the one that's figuring out the loopholes. All right, so everybody, if you know Antonio Brown, he is not the guy that's sitting there doing his homework and finding the loopholes. He's got people doing that for him. But he has the people doing it for him, and they found it. And so when they found it, they presented it to the Raiders, and the Raiders were ready to go with it because they knew, well, fuck, it's a loophole. They're going to get it. There is no fucking loopholes when it comes to Goodell. He will not let anything sneak past him.
He is kind of a tyrant.
He's a fucking tyrant. He's ruining the league. And people, obviously, Joe, you've lost your interest in football. The more he stays in that commissioner position, the more people stop giving a shit about football.
But the owners love him though, because they take all the blame. He takes all the blame off the owners.
Remember when
so much money.
Jerry Jones threatened to sue him because he was going to get a new contract for commissioner, and Jerry Jones was like, "I'm going to sue you."
That was the most fucked up thing ever. So, okay, the NFL has a monopoly on football, but they're able to say it's not a monopoly because each of their franchises independently owned and operated. However, right before their lockout, that was, what year was that? Like 2010? They had a year where they didn't have a salary cap. Yet somehow, everyone just didn't pay crazy amounts for their players. It was very clearly collusion behind the scenes, to the point where the Redskins and Cowboys broke the unwritten rules of how much you were allowed to pay players, and then the NFL punished them for paying their employees without any limitations when the agreement said that they could pay their players without any limitations because they broke this unwritten collusion rule, even though it's not a monopoly. And Jerry Jones was like, what the fuck? I am not paying this fine. This is straight up illegal. Also, they took it, and I know everyone hates Patriots, but, there's literally zero physical evidence that Deflategate was real, and the case had no standing on any sort of law or anything. They didn't break any rules, is what I'm getting at. Yet they still got punished for it just because Goodell didn't want to look like an idiot. And now it's like, oh, well, if they weren't guilty, they wouldn't have taken a draft pick away. It's like, no, there's literally zero evidence. Not that there's light evidence. There's none. There's none evidence. There's just nothing. It didn't happen. It's not real.
Deflategate?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough subject. But the Colts still hung their banner for being finalists in the playoffs.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
And the thing that sucks is because I was laughing at that, and then you go to Husky Stadium, and they say, college football playoffs in 2016, and they have it up like they fucking won the championship, which is funny. It was like playoff contender of 2016 or something, or college football playoff. They have it in the stadium, in the ring, kind of where it's just kind of no, we're not the Colts. Don't do that. Take that shit down. And I thought that was pretty funny, but I still love the Huskies. And speaking of the Huskies, I talked about this on the sports bar, but quick update, Jake Haener has left the team.
I saw that.
And that was because everybody knew Jake Eason was going to take the job. He's a bigger, better, SEC experienced quarterback. They're going to take him over a guy that can't beat Cal. So I think they made the right choice. I think that Jake Haener is going to go to some small-time school and fucking ball out. which is good for him. But, obviously they're going to go with the big quarterback here, with the big name that everybody's waiting to see. Everybody's excited. And somebody was telling me that he was outperforming, or Haener was outperforming Eason in camp. It's not fucking true. It's not true at all.
Can we talk about Baker Mayfield and Daniel Jones for a second? Because what the fuck is going on?
It was his comments were taken out of
proportion. No, they weren't. They
Yes,
were
they
not
were.
taken out of context. He meant what he said. It's the same thing that literally everyone said when that happened. And then he just says, no, it's taken out of context. We're good friends. I'm like, I don't care. You're right. You're fucking correct. It was a bad move. And literally everyone said, wow, when that shit happened. So like, I don't understand. A famous person can just say, you took me out of context, and everyone's like, yeah, they did. Like, no,
Well,
they didn't.
They made
though.
it seem like Baker Mayfield was just being a huge asshole to Daniel Jones. He wasn't being an asshole. It's true.
Yeah.
Not even Daniel Jones thought he was going to be.
That's what I don't understand. Like,
picked.
literally every member of the media had the exact same reaction when it happened. So how is it a bigger deal? Because Baker
they
Mayfield
made it.
said
They made
like,
it seem like they made it seem like Baker Mayfield was. They made it seem like he was making it. It's hard to explain. They're making it seem like Baker Mayfield was being a total asshole.
I mean,
which he is.
Yeah.
But I love him because he's an asshole. I love his asshole persona, and I think that the Browns needed a quarterback that has a fucking attitude because the Browns have had nothing successful in the last however fucking long, 20 years. God
Cleveland
damn.
fans don't know what to do with themselves now that the Browns are like the most exciting team in football.
And so you get a guy like
so
that
weird.
he was doing this shit in college.
Yes.
And everybody knew he was going to go to the NFL.
Do you regret planting the flag? How
His
sorry are
apology.
you about it? 0%. It was
0%.
awesome.
Fuck Ohio State.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome. And anyway, but I loved his attitude in college, and I think that the NFL does need players like him because it's exciting. It makes the game exciting. OBJ talking shit about the Giants. It's exciting because when they play the Giants, it's going to be
again. He's also right,
but he's right. But he's talking shit. He doesn't have to, but he still is. Everybody, Richard Sherman leaving the Seahawks and talking shit, going to the 49ers and not being able to stop fucking Jerron Brown in the end zone. It's hilarious. But you got to love it. And I still love Richard Sherman, and I love his big mouth. And I love Jalen Ramsey and his big mouth. But I think Jalen Ramsey, the thing that I have to say about Jalen Ramsey is his shit talk is very elementary.
He needs to step up his game.
He's very bad at shit talking. You can't just go to the media and be like, "Oh yeah, I think Ben Roethlisberger is garbage." No, Jalen Ramsey, you haven't done shit in your career.
He's pretty fucking good.
He's good, but he hasn't done. Well, what has he done with it?
A Pro Bowl
Playoffs.
Man.
He hasn't won a Super
He's
Bowl.
not a quarterback. Like, yeah, you can rate quarterbacks on their
And
team's
by the way,
success, sure, but, like,
he's had
one cornerback.
He had
like,
a horrendous year last year against everybody he called trash. Josh Allen, he was like, yeah, Josh Allen's trash. Josh Allen fucking destroyed him.
You know, Josh Allen was the top scoring fantasy football quarterback from week 11 to week 17.
I don't doubt it. Yeah, have you seen how many fucking yards he ran?
On the ground. Yeah.
I love Josh Allen. I think
fantasy
Josh Allen's
football's
fun.
weird.
Anywho, Vito.
Hey, speaking of...
There's a lot going on here, Vito. And then Lamar Miller tore his ACL last night.
Yeah, I saw that too. That's why we shouldn't play in the preseason, man. I'm telling you.
They shouldn't play
preseason games are
starters.
Stupid. Yeah.
They shouldn't play starters.
Sean McVay's got it right. Rest your starters and
Rest
don't run
your
any of your
starters.
offense. Who was it? Oh, God, I can't remember. I think it was somebody was playing the Eagles, and they won. And they're like, yeah, we crushed them. And the Eagles coaches were like, or no, it was Arizona. Somebody was playing Cliff Kingsbury in Arizona, and they're like, oh, yeah, they look like garbage. And the Cardinals responded like, yeah, because we're not running our real offense. Like,
I will
we don't
say
want to
this,
show you
though.
guys shit. Like,
I'll
this
say
shit
this.
don't matter. Like,
I'll say this. The Cardinals are going to be terrible.
Yeah.
They're going to be horrible. And you can tell
agree.
because of their depth, and you can tell because even running their regular offense or their real offense or not, their head coach is acting like they have some kind of mastermind. They're going to get fucking crushed.
well, the thing is,
and I think that they're going to, and I think that Murray's going to have, and I'm going to talk about Murray on the next episode of CSB, so I'm not going to get too in depth with this, but I don't think that Murray's going to have the year that
Dogs on our
everybody's
end.
expecting him to have. Murray's going to go out there, and I think he's going to get the Josh Rosen treatment. shitty O-line, and he's going to get crushed. He's going to have to run for his life. Russell Wilson, but he's not Russell Wilson yet. So we'll see how he goes. We'll talk about him. But he's not generating any offense, and they look like shit.
I feel like people shouldn't be trying to draw any conclusions. Like, yeah, sure, Daniel Jones has good stats, but literally he underthrew every single ball if you watch his highlights. And the one downfield completion he completed, he overthrew it, and the guy had to leap 20 feet in the air to grab the fucking ball, all right? He is inaccurate, and he's going to be terrible. Also,
25 for 30.
None of those teams are running their real offenses anyway, so you really can't draw any conclusions about who's going to be good or bad from the preseason.
25 for 30, 369
it doesn't
yards.
mean anything, though.
No interceptions.
The defenses
two
aren't running their
touchdowns.
real schemes either. They don't want to give anything away.
He's
They don't
accurate with the
want
football,
to put
man.
anything on tape. He's accurate with the football for like 5 yards downfield, man. And even then, the passes are not accurate. The receivers are just making nice plays.
I'm excited for him. I said earlier in the year that he was going to start after week 6. I moved it to week 4.
I know. I listened to that.
Moved it to week 4. Anyway,
Vito's bored.
yes.
What?
We had a good quiz. Vito was in the quiz, but we had to get some football out of the way because this was a big from yesterday until now. There's a lot of shit going on.
Vito, you want to drop the revelation you dropped on me in the car ride over here regarding World of Warcraft Classic?
Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna play WoW Classic. I've been watching like videos and shit about like updates and like what they're gonna be doing and all that kind of shit. I'm just getting kind of like nostalgic for like old school WoW.
But it's old school WoW with like a new look, right?
No, it's literally just old school WoW.
It's the same look, same everything.
Just exactly the same.
Everything's the same, meaning like if you're an archer, you need to worry about arrows.
So
and
why
you
not-
can't attack within 5 yards of your target.
So why not just like plug in the old WoW and
You
play it?
can't
You can't.
because it's a game, it's a service, right? So it's what it is
I
now is
see.
nothing like what
I
it
see.
was
I see
what you're
15 years
talking
ago.
about.
They actually are so far away from where they were in Classic that they had to recreate the game
Yeah,
from
Wow.
scratch.
yeah.
And that's why they hadn't done it for so long, is because they didn't want to put the work towards.
Well, you know what? Good on them. Because I've actually seen.
And there's like hella
Crazy.
hype. In fact, they've actually had to build more servers for Classic WoW because they underestimated how many people wanted to play.
It's
I've
like
seen a bunch of.
insane
I've
how
seen
many
like
people
a
are
few of my
playing.
friends on Facebook talking about it, and I'm like, God damn, this is a bigger deal than I thought.
Was it Vito?
No,
No, but
people who weren't you and Vito.
yeah, I mean, gosh, do you remember the numbers?
Like this one?
The subscriber numbers. In
No,
Burning Crusade?
I just know it was crazy. Oh no,
no, because I know that their peak was in Wrath of the Lich King, which was the second expansion, and that was 12 million.
that was their peak, not Cataclysm. I thought that was the
Oh
big
gosh,
one.
no,
Really?
no, that's when they started declining.
But that was when everything changed.
Yeah, that's what everybody hated.
Jesus, excuse me. I've had too much coffee today. Too much coffee today.
Too much coffee.
Hey, speaking of
I feel good
changes
today.
everyone hates, Spider-Man's getting dusted, man.
Yeah, Spider-Man in the
Yeah.
divorce. I think that's hilarious. Because
Tom
everybody
Holland was so
everybody was
good,
bracing
man.
up for Tom Holland to
have,
be.
have you guys seen this stuff about Tom Holland and fucking the guy who plays Iron Man?
Oh, Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. like hanging out now because they can.
No.
Yeah, and apparently everybody loves it.
That's adorable.
Well, I mean, I figure it's like
Yeah.
when he came in, he was probably 20 when he showed up into the MCU.
Yeah.
Now he's like 25, and so I don't know. It's one of those things where Robert Downey Jr. probably took him in as like he was like, oh, I look up to you like a fucking god, like the movies.
Yeah.
Fucking Spider-Man
you-
looks at Iron Man like he's a god, and I think that it just played out in real life. I think that's funny.
Are you
That's
guys
cool.
excited for Marvel? Like, I don't know, man. I see all this stuff.
I
they're
cannot
releasing,
fucking
and I just,
wait
like,
for
don't
Blade.
Care.
I just can't wait. For
Blade
Blade
is the one
I
you're the
want
most excited
Blade.
about. That's
I
so
loved
weird.
growing up. I watched the Blade trilogy.
Like the Wesley Snipes ones.
Yes, I watched the Blade trilogy
movies are
probably once a week. They're not
I like
terrible, dude. Blade 2 was
man.
one of the coolest fucking movies ever.
Some good shit.
Oh man.
You got Chris
guys are
Christopherson
awful.
as his his sidekick, and and then look at
You
Guillermo
guys speaking
or
of yeah, it was Guillermo del Toro.
yeah, that's right. Okay, so he did number 2, and he brought in those super spooky vampires that changed the vampire game forever.
Are you guys familiar with Ain't It Cool News and Harry Knowles? This was one of the first ever movie bloggers, and he was famous because he would give your movie a good score if you flew him out to a nice hotel and gave him a nice dinner and shit. No.
always good.
Well, After the episode, I highly suggest everyone go read his Blade 2 review. It's absurd. One of the worst written pieces of anything on the internet.
That's funny.
It's also fucking disgusting.
Here's my review for Blade 2. It was fucking awesome. And here's my review for Blade 3.
Blade Trinity.
It doesn't hold up as well as
Is that the one with
Blade
Jessica
2,
Biel?
but it was a lot of fun.
Man.
And then here's my take on Blade 1. For its time, fucking sick.
What was that Jessica Biel movie with the like sentient invisible airplane?
Like your little review section there could be perfectly translated over to the Matrix series.
They're making a
Yes.
new Matrix movie too.
They're
Did you
making
see
a new
that?
Matrix.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Matrix 4 with Keanu and Carrie-Anne Moss
Matrix
already
1?
signed on.
Matrix 1, incredible. Matrix 2,
What
fucking
the fuck?
sick. Matrix
No,
3
whoa.
doesn't hold up.
Matrix 2 was fucking sick. Matrix 2 is terrible.
Dude, there's
2 and
Ghost
3 are
in my
both
dreads.
awful.
Call me the second Matrix.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kung Fu Grip, local rap group. I remember hearing that in a freestyle. I fucking lost my mind. Anyway, no, the Matrix series was pretty cool. I didn't like part 3. I thought that movie was a fucking drag.
I really liked the animated series.
The Animatrix or whatever? The
Yeah.
anthology?
Animatrix.
Yeah. I like the game Enter the Matrix. You guys
Yeah,
ever play
we
that
talked
one?
about that on the show. I remember
the
that
full
game.
motion video. Oh, man.
Love that
What
shit.
a-
It was like
what an
Max Payne on
adventure.
steroids.
yeah.
Because they just used the same
It was
thing.
just bullet time all over the place. Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
But, yeah, so,
Hold up.
dude, Blade,
How-
come on.
how cool
I'm so
would it be
excited.
if with the new Matrix movie they made an actually good Matrix game with like new technology and everything,
They probably will. I wouldn't be
and
surprised.
and hopefully not a phone game.
If you could pick any franchise to have a really good video game, what would you choose?
Starship Troopers.
Starship? That's not there's one. That's a single property, but sure.
There's not only one. There's 4 terrible movies.
What?
Or there's 3 terrible Starship Troopers, and there's one awesome one.
Have you played Earth Defense Force? Because that basically is the Starship Troopers, but
I think it'd be cool if Star Trek came back with a like really really good MMO.
they have an MMO.
No, like a good one.
I know that I know that the Starship Troopers actually had a video game, but it wasn't like, it's not new technology. But if you could like get one of the biggest developers to like,
Or
make a
fucking Marvel making a superhero MMO that actually was good.
good
What
luck.
about like Ultimate Alliance 3? That's like a Diablo clone. It's supposed to be pretty good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
is it on the phone?
No, it's on Switch.
Is it on the Switch?
Because like if it's
They
a
got
Marvel
lots of
game,
phone games,
Diablo.
man.
If it's
Hey, Strike Force is not a terrible
dude,
phone game.
Diablo's.
You knocked the A off the Casa there. TikTok. No, have you played Marvel Strike Force? It's a phone game. It's not terrible.
I'd try it out, but I don't have a Switch.
No, Strike Force is a mobile game. It's
Marvel
on the phone.
Space
Oh,
Force.
Marvel Strike
I don't
Force.
really want to play a mobile game.
It's not terrible. I thought you were playing
I got like
Enter the Darkness or whatever the hell was that most
no. That's
generic.
what I was about to say. Like I played that for like a good week or so, and then I got to the point where it became like too difficult, and I was like, ah, fuck it. And by difficult, I mean like you'd have to spend
Yeah, the grind
the
is
grind.
real.
Yeah, the grind.
I would want
becomes-
so to go back to the question I asked. What I really want more than anything is like an open world Witcher style RPG in the Harry Potter universe.
that
Lame.
would be really good.
Yeah.
Lame.
What are you talking about? That would be
Lame.
great. You could do a Persona
Potter
style
sucks.
too, where you're like, you have to manage your
Yeah.
time, dude. This is good.
Did you ever play the Azkaban game?
As which one? Oh, like the EA
The Prisoner
ones,
of
the
Azkaban?
like
Yeah.
Zelda clones. The only one I played was Chamber of Secrets. It was not
Yeah,
great.
I played the
It was not
Azkaban
great.
one. It was really
Lego Harry
good.
Potter is good, but that's just
it's
a
one of my
Lego game.
nostalgia ones.
Yeah.
It's the fucking Azkaban one. I
Yeah.
can't. It does not hold up today at all, and it was probably not even good for its time, but it was fun.
So I started bringing my Switch for my bus ride every day because I
Wait.
ride the bus for like 40 minutes. What? That was my question.
Harry
Is that
Potter.
dorky
Oh, wait, for what?
to use your Switch on the bus?
No. I see people doing it. Oh, I don't ride the bus, so I don't see people doing that.
Or
But
the
I do see
train.
people playing it at the bus stop or when
Yeah.
I drive past them.
Okay.
So, yes, it's a normal thing.
I just feel because
I just feel like it's an easy way to get robbed.
Why?
Especially with how Seattle's going now. If you do that shit downtown, I feel like it's a
I
very
do it
easy
during
way.
rush hour, and I ride commuter buses, so trust me, there's no homeless people on them. There's
well-
not enough room.
Rush hour is a whole different story.
Yeah.
But like if you're fucking leaving work at like 10 and you're bussing home and you're playing your Switch, it's an easy way to get robbed.
Oh well, for sure. I have a lock on my backpack though, so people can't get in there. Haha. Unless you think they're going to just take my backpack.
You can just take the backpack.
It's between my legs.
No, I'm talking about when you get off the bus.
Because they see me. Oh, you got
Because they see you
expensive
playing a
shit in
Switch,
there.
you fucking throw all
Okay.
your shit in your backpack.
Yeah,
well, I'm gonna go
I don't live
rob
in that
this guy.
shitty a neighborhood, and I take the bus at fucking 8 a.m. and then 4
I live in
p.m.
this
on the
shitty
way
neighborhood.
home. Yeah,
I live in the neighborhood that you would get robbed if you played your fucking Switch.
100%, man.
10 o'clock.
I was thinking that the other day because usually I have both of my laptops and my Switch in my bag. So I'm like, there's like $5,000 worth of electronics in this fucking bag right now. I really hope nobody takes it.
Yeah. Easy way to get robbed. So I have a music update that I've been trying to give on the show for a while, but now I have something more to add on to this.
Are you psyching yourself up? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
I am. Midland, my favorite band, has released their second studio album. And from front to back, side to side, side A, side B, C and D, I'll tell you this.
It's a cube.
It's a fucking gold mine. It's a perfect album. I have never heard such a terrific country album before in my fucking life.
What's it called?
It's called Let It Roll. And the reason why it's called Let It Roll, they gave a little history, is because they took a gamble on this album and they went all in on it. So they released it, and holy shit. Like the country world flipped over this album, and they are terrific. And speaking of, I tweeted them or retweeted their posting about the album, and they tweeted back to us. They liked our thing, and they said, "Thanks, amigos."
I saw that.
Or "Thanks, amigo," and I about shit myself.
I saw that you pooped your pants. Yes.
Yeah. I had to go to work the next day, and I stayed up until 12:30 listening to the album, and just like, God damn, I don't know how you do that, man. Fucking love that album, and it's a great album. Still listening to it. I'm gonna listen to it today again, and my favorite songs on there is Playboys and Let It Roll, or not Let It Roll. Sorry, I love Let It Roll, but Playboys and 14 Gears. So if you want to get into that album, those are the two songs that I would personally recommend. And then I Love You Goodbye is another one that you could listen to and be like, holy shit, these guys are great country. This is a great country band. They write their music with their band, and it just, you can feel it. And then Coulter Wall's performing tonight at Woodland Park Zoo for Zoo Tunes. And I don't get to see him.
Okay.
And he's releasing 2 new songs next month on September 27th. And Vincent Neil Emerson has released his music on Spotify. You can check him out. Songs that I recommend from him are Letters on the Marquee and 7-Eleven. Those are the 2 songs I recommend from him. Or
is he gonna get copyrighted?
a fly on Willie Nelson's Wall is a good one. So I really recommend that singer too, because he writes his own music, and good Lord, this guy is one of the best songwriters I have heard in my lifetime. So it's just, the country music scene is really morphing, and people like to hate on country music because of people like Jason Aldean and Luke Bryan. I don't like those guys. But there is pop country and new modern country that I will listen to. So I do listen to every fucking genre.
Did you listen to the new Taylor Swift album? Because apparently it's amazing.
Oh, cool.
That's what people say.
But yeah, I do dabble into the pop country from time to time, and I don't have a problem with it. Like Dierks Bentley, I'll listen to him and shit like
Everybody
that.
knows you love Tim McGraw.
I love Tim McGraw. And so, but these guys are more like, they're bringing back that original feel of Western country and Western music that is just so good. And then last but not least, another great album to be released is Tyler Childer's new album. For some reason, I'm blanking out and can't remember what it's fucking called. I'm actually just going to look it up right now while I talk about it. But it is, it's a good little country album that I write. It's called Country Squire. It's 9 songs, and it's a fun little album to listen to. I've listened to it front to back about 4 or 5 times, and I do think that it's a great album. My favorite songs on there is All Yorn and Firehouse, or God damn it, Firehouse. let's see here. House Fire.
Firehouse.
All Yorn and Ever Loving Hand. He has a song about beating his meat on the road, and it is pretty funny. It's pretty great. Other than that, music update is, I think my music update's pretty complete. I know our pal Mexi Jake was in the studio. Completion. And good luck to you, Mexi Jake, in the studio. We see you. The Beefy Boys will love to have you back, talk about some music.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah. Fucking, that's it for the music corner here.
Word.
Yeah.
It's their country music update, I suppose.
Yeah, I've been fucking binging podcasts so hard that I just don't have any good music updates for you guys.
I've been doing so much fucking research for the spooky season, you guys. I can't wait. I cannot wait to bring in. I have 2 weeks off coming up before I start my new job. And I think in that 2 weeks, I'm going to go to a few different spooky spots.
Bring the camera.
I am.
Yeah,
I totally am.
Planning on it.
Oh. And I'm also planning on a.
I gotta get a GoPro.
I'm planning on a new series called on a Beefy Boys series. It's not going to be a podcast. It's actually going to be a YouTube series.
There you go.
But it's going to be called Bum Diaries. I'm going to bring that shit back.
Jesus Christ.
Because we lost all of our old ones.
Yeah.
It was all in our old cell phones, but we had a whole bunch of different videos of talking to bums. Granted, the bums out there today aren't the same bums that were there in 2014, because it was more like hobos back then. They'd roll into town and then they'd leave in like 2 days. Now it's like they roll into town and create a huge trash pile and stay there until the fucking city throws them out. It's a lot of shuffling and shiffling up there.
Dogs on our end, yeah.
But yeah, so I'm talking about bringing the Bum Diaries back. I'm working with a few people. I was actually going to see if Billy wanted to be since he does video editing and shit, I was going to see if he wanted to be a executive producer.
Oh.
Yeah. How fucking cool is that?
Sure. Yeah.
Might as well
take that shit off my plate, man. I got too much to do.
Yep.
We'll get our fucking YouTube up and running. We've been going for almost a year, guys.
I know.
I can't wait to have our 1 year special.
Yeah.
Maybe you should save the first video for 1 year special.
It would be cool to do like a best of, but I ain't got the time to do that. So,
but
listeners,
here's
if
a question.
You can pull out clips, your favorite clips, and send them to me. I will aggregate them.
Here's a question for the spooky season, and this could also go for you guys too. Would you guys want one long spooky season episode at the end of the month, or do you guys want kind of like short, like 10-minute videos throughout the month? I don't know which one is going to be easier, and I'm really going to do my best to get everything taken care of. But I have been denied access from Skagit County themselves to go to Northern State. So I'll have to just go to the cemetery that they have and the farm that they had there, where they had all the lobotomized people fucking working. So with that being said, it was the first hospital to bring in lobotomy practices, and they did it to around 800 patients, and there's a lot of people died there. But they have a cemetery there that's open to the public. They have a park there that's open to the public, so I will be going there and seeing some shit. I'll be going to a few different cemeteries, and it's a great way to stay in shape.
Running from ghosts.
But with that being said, hopefully people can answer my question, and I can figure it out. But I'm going to do my best to figure out whatever I can do. But spooky season's upon us, folks.
I've seen all these memes about the only Spider-Man to have 3 movies.
Oh,
and it's like
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my Spider-Man.
Fuck
yeah.
Now my Spider-Man. All right.
All right, folks. I think we're gonna wrap this up. We've had a lot of fun here today, and we'll see how the NFL goes. We'll see what this crazy shenanigans goes, and I just God, what a good day! It's fucking nice out, dude.
It's fucking nice.
It is. I gotta get some yard work done.
All right.
See you, knuckleheads, next week.